If you are the one who God chooses, hear this clearly. In every generation, God chooses someone who wasn't the most trained, most experienced, or qualified, but most willing, the one who was most. Before David faced Goliath, Israel already had warriors. Men trained in battle, men trained with swords. Men older than David, stronger and seasoned, yet none of them moved. Why? Because training gives skill, but courage gives destiny. David wasn't chosen because he was the strongest. He was chosen because he refused to be silent, he refused to bow to fear, and he refused to let the giant define or tell a story. There were mighty men standing in front of Goliath, but David was the only one standing in front of God. And God said, that's the one I will use for my glory. What you are going through, God is saying to you that you are the one He will use for that glory. This is your revelation. You may feel underqualified, undertrained, and unnoticed, but heaven sees you as the one who will do what others won't do and others can't do. You are the one He will use to break the pattern, to defeat the giant, to shift the story, to save the family, and to deliver the nation. Because God doesn't ask, how prepared are you? He asks, how available are you? The men around you may have titles, training, and strength, but you have the calling. You have been chosen to do and the calling of God always outranks qualifications. That's why you must stand courageous and stand tall no matter what. Walk in assurance and be confident in God. You are not in that meeting or that place or that space by accident. You are in the room or in that meeting or that place or that space because heaven intends to use you for His glory. You are just like David. You are the one God will use to make the impossible bow, to make what seems impossible be possible, to make what seems not to be there, to be seen by men, so they can see the hand of God in your life. Final mystery about Yahweh is God who finishes before He begins. So hear this. If the name Yahweh reads backwards, then maybe your life makes sense going backwards too. Maybe your setbacks were setups for your come up. Maybe the setback were your setup for a greater come up. The delays were direction. Maybe the detours were design. Because in order for David to equal the crown, he had to fight Goliath. Killing the bear and the lion did not equal the crown. What you are going through is what is going to equal the crown you are seeking to find. What you went through cannot equal to where you are going. That is why you sat back to be prepared for the stage that has been set for your greater come up. Because the latter glory will be greater than the former glory. So what you are going through is a preparation period. Hold on. Be strong and courageous. Ask for strength when you feel weak. He says, let the weak say, I am strong. If you feel down, say you are up. Because he says, let the poor say, I am rich. Because with Yahweh, you are not walking into an unprepared future. You are walking into a future that is already finished by God. Every step you take is catching up to what's already completed in eternity. What's already written about you. All you have to do is align yourself. Position yourself. Look straight to the Lord. Gaze at Him. Don't give up. Don't lose hope. Be strong and courageous. Remember, with God, you can do all things, and I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Remember, He gives one power to acquire, to achieve, to do might and exploit. So if you will go back to Him and ask for strength, and ask for the power, so that you can be might and you can be strong in this land for the eternity that awaits. He said, because He has acknowledged my name, I will deliver him. I will set him on high. I will honor him and satisfy him with long life. Psalm 91, verse 14, 15. Not because you were perfect, not because you were stumbled. He said, but because you acknowledge His name, Yahweh, the one who begins at the end and ends at the beginning. Don't panic. Don't shake. He's just positioning you to launch you forward. You are an arrow in God's hands, and He's pulling you back to launch you forward more than you ever imagined. That's why whenever your crown comes, it's beyond what you imagined, and it's beyond what you thought or beyond what you asked. Because He is God. That is why He's God, and that is His name, Yahweh. He does all things. So your backward season is not the end. It is your tension before the elevation. It's not just on time, it's ahead of time. Your story is finished before you begin. So fear not. Be strong and courageous. Don't let anything stop you. Doing what you know you are supposed to do by obeying, by trusting without borders in Him, by going back to Him no matter where you have gotten to. So if this stirred your faith, comment, Yahweh, I acknowledge your name, and share this with someone who needs to know and understand that going backward is not the end. It's God loading you and charging you for the next level. Preparation period for your elevation, and a table which will be set before you in the presence of your enemies. You must be prepared before the table is set before you. Remember, the lion and the bear does not equal the throne. It is Goliath which equals the throne. To overcome your Goliath, stay strong, so that when the table is set before you and in the presence of your enemies, you would walk with honor, with pride, and with strength, and with trust, which surpasses all understanding.